What's up, everybody? This is the Growing Up Italian podcast, and we have my good friend Ray Guarini from the Italian Enclaves page. How you doing, Ray?
What's going on, Sabino? Thanks for having me again, bro. How you doing?
I'm good, man. I'm sorry it's under these circumstances. We actually had a podcast planned, I remember it was a Tuesday, and it was like the city got shut down Thursday. And I messaged you listen, I think we're going to have to postpone.
Yeah, good idea. Smart move.
Yeah, I've been ahead of the curve for this whole time. My dad's been looking at me crazy, like, why are you doing such crazy things? And I'm like, listen, I'd rather be safe than sorry. It's my job to keep us safe.
The whole idea, though, from Jump Street, when you started the whole Growing Up Italian podcast, the social media, that was ahead of the curve. And you guys are staying ahead of the curve. So you're doing something right.
There are people that started before us, but I think we're one of the most unique doing it the best, I want to say.
I want to pop into that studio, though. Just because we can't be together today doesn't mean I'm not stopping down on Graham Avenue.
Yeah, whenever you want.
Go for a few drinks.
Lately, I've been on some, I don't care. I'm not going out, shaking people's hands still. And there's, an awkward situation where I do shake someone's hand, and then I just spray antibacterial right away,
I give you credit. I haven't shaken one hand since before this whole thing started at all.
It feels weird though, man.
It's not normal. It's not in our culture.
There's people I respect, that they come to the store. Like today it was this guy's birthday, and this is a guy I respect. And he put out his hand. I'm like, I cannot shake this guy's hand. He might get me he might get me whacked.
Oh God. Yeah, right. As long as you're not doing the kiss on the cheek, I think you'll be all right. If you can
the kisses on the cheek is gonna be gone for a while, I think, man.
Yep, exactly. There used to be the argument, who do you give one kiss to or two kisses? Both cheeks, one cheek. Now you don't have to worry about that problem anymore for a while.
Now I give them the chicken wing.
Yeah, exactly.
But how's this affected you, on a business level? Are you still working?
Yeah, so I'm working from home. I manage a boutique investment bank broker dealer in downtown Manhattan. So we're locked out of the building, obviously, with the rest of New York. Can't work from the office. So, in a way, it was really hard in the beginning trying to adapt to being home all the time, because I'm always in my office. I'm there sometimes 11, 12 hours a day. So for me to make that adjustment was culture shock. Eventually, I got it down, though, and now I'm working more from home than I even was in the office, Saturdays and Sundays included.
Yeah, I'm sure looking up stuff and trying to look for files that you don't have.
Just organizing myself. I find that, you're able to have better conversations with people now because people are a little bit more laid back, that they're home too. So it's definitely an advantage on some levels. It's just about adaptability. If you could adapt to this and learn to still be productive, you know what? I don't have to jump into the shower, take a shower early in the morning and throw a suit on and then get to the city. I spend that time, though, being productive. So just like you, I'm sure you found ways to fill in all the gaps.
Probably got 2 hours of commuting a day now, right?
Yeah, exactly. So you have 2 extra hours to get stuff done. And you can work smart, and you could also work hard.
And then when
you can work in your pajamas.
You have the kids, when you have your
you juggle everything. You just make sure, it's actually great. You get to be you get to be around the kids more. You get to spend a little more extra time with the family. Doing things that even old projects that I put off, like organizing some of these photos I've been taking for 7 years like a maniac, going all over the country. These photos get lost in the shuffle, and then you're like, what did I do with that photo? So now I'm taking the time to organize stuff.
The reason why I really wanted to talk to you, 2-3 months ago when we planned, was because you were promoting a book that you wrote, right? Would you say author, right? Is that the
no, of course, absolutely. So I created a book through Arcadia Publishing. I actually have it right here. And thank you, by the way, for giving me a chance to shout it out and plug it.
No, absolutely.
You have your neighborhood on the cover right here.
Exactly. That book's in our office. So a little backstory about Cafe Capri. That was actually the first cafe in Brooklyn. They were open 4 years before Fortunato.
No kidding.
Yep. And Donnie Brasco happened there. I don't know. A lot of people don't know that, but
I know that. It's funny. I got a crazy story about that too. that took place right across the street.
Yeah,
At,
the San Giuseppe
you know,
Club.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So it's there's all these stories floating around, and most of them are true.
Yeah.
So
So, like, what I love about your page is you like highlight small businesses, you know, and in a world where we live today, especially, you know, a great percentage of these small businesses are in danger of
yep,
closing. Not only Italian businesses, but
everybody.
all businesses, you know,
So
barbershop.
you know, it's so true. I got to say, when we first started this, like you said, one of the key factors for me was that the reason I started this was because we lost. It was like losing a friend. We lost a really, really lovable, integrated business here in Bay Ridge, and you know, Bay Ridge, Benson, or Steiker Heights. I mean, this has all been very, very influenced by Italian American culture, and so you know, I got kind of nostalgic. I said, let me go out there and see if this is happening elsewhere. What other places are closing? What is out there? So
Yeah.
we took a full inventory of all the Italians. But the idea is to promote these. But it's sad because even before this started, you know, COVID, these places were closing rapidly. Now this just pushed them out
This
even further.
sped it up like 50 years, I think.
Yeah, yeah, maybe 10,
Right.
20 years, maybe even more. Like you said,
Yeah.
50 years. Who knows? Could be.
I mean, yeah, I'm probably being aggressive with the 50, but
Could
like
be.
people that were like 50-50 about closing are closing now. Like they're
Yeah,
just
they're not even
throwing in the
second
towel.
guessing it.
You know,
It's
for me,
crazy.
you know, I love going into like those pork stores and stuff like that, you know,
You can't find stuff like that anywhere in the country, you know, anymore.
except
Very
New
select
York,
few.
except New York, maybe.
New York, you've got New York, Chicago, a couple, believe it or not, a couple of places left, you know, in the West Coast of California.
But you know where is like, do you think the best Little Italy's in New York? Like, cause
Oh, you know,
you have, you have the
it's
standard, you have the standard of Arthur Ave and Little Italy in Manhattan.
your neck of the woods, man. I gotta say, one of my favorite Italian neighborhoods in all of New York and all of the country is Williamsburg. I've got to tell you, it's an old neighborhood. It's one of the oldest Italian neighborhoods in the country. That and Carroll Gardens they go way back to the 1800s, and it's always stayed Italian. Like whereas a lot of these other Italian neighborhoods, they became whatever else, and they assimilated, and over the years they fell off. But Williamsburg has been very, very Italian for over 100 years, easy 130 years, 140 years, and you know,
Yeah,
if you really
I know
look
our
at
society started in 1888. So
yeah, exactly. So I'd say Williamsburg, no doubt about it. I want to get one in each borough. How's that? We'll throw Manhattan. I want to say East Harlem. Even though everybody only knows Little Italy, Mulberry Street, East
mhm.
Harlem still has a really,
They
really
have the
strong
Giulio
presence.
Club there.
They have the Giulio Club. They've got Raos is still there. Just until recently, they had the barber shop. You know, they had Claudio, but they still have a lot of people,
Have you ate at Rayo's?
of course. Yeah.
I haven't.
Have you really?
It's on my list. I was
It's good,
debating going
bro.
there for takeout, you know?
Yes, they have the takeout. Yeah. Exactly. I haven't been there in a long time, but my experience there was good. I didn't have any problems with it. I love
How
going
many
up
times did
there
you eat
for
there?
the Giulio. Was that
How many times did you eat there?
a couple of times, just
Yeah.
twice? I think
Yeah?
one was like 5 years ago. One was like literally 15, 16 years ago. It was a long time,
Okay.
but it was a guy's birthday. We went there, we had a good time, and but ever since then. I've got to say, it's been like it's more of like one of those things that has like the panache, but you know it's not necessarily as authentic Italian food that you would think.
Yeah, well, we'll get right into that. But like for anybody that's listening and they never heard of Rayo's, is basically an Italian restaurant in Manhattan that you just can't get a reservation for. They like have set reservations. So there's like guys that have every other Monday or you know whatever the days are, you know. And then if you're not going, you have to get someone to go for you.
I got a funny story for you. So my friend, we went there for his birthday, and we all were pretty young guys. We worked on Wall Street, we're stockbrokers, and when the younger guys would come to work, one of the jokes we play on the young kids, we call them, would be, hey, listen, you got to call this restaurant. And if you could sell, you're a good salesman, you could sell stocks. You could get us a reservation. This restaurant's hard to get a reservation at, but you've got to be able to get us a reservation there. So we'd have kids call up, and they call, and Frankie Noah would get on the phone,
Mhm.
and hi, could I have a reservation? No, click. So these kids would get
It's
frustrated.
like Wolf of Wall Street. Sell me this pen.
Right.
Get me a reservation at Raos.
Exactly. So it was funny though. These kids are walking right into the wood chipper, no idea whatsoever how hard it is. They don't even know about the place. They have no clue what Raos is, what the story is. Back then, the internet wasn't so like, you didn't have a cell phone where you could go online and just Google it and then figure it out. So these guys would get frustrated, sit there for hours trying to pull back up. Could I please have a reservation? And each and every time they get shot right down.
Yeah. But, to talk a little bit about Italian American food, we just recently did a little like competition, like what is the best Italian food? So, people were flipping out about some of like the entries, like penne vodka and chicken parm.
Right.
So, like to me, like my parents were both born in Italy, but I own a business and, I sell vodka sauce. I can't keep up with it. And I sell chicken parms, I sell, all these dishes that people say aren't Italian. And, to me, it's like, if you go to Rome, you go to Milan, you go to a restaurant, order chicken parm, there will be some places that have it, especially tourist places, because
absolutely,
it is 1,000% known as Italian food. Now, it may not be like Italian food if you go to these small villages, but like, come on, people in Italy know what chicken parm is. Like,
exactly.
Or spaghetti and meatballs,
It's crazy. What's funny is like everything here. Well, we have like all different kinds of Italian food in New York, right? I mean, you've got like these 5-star Michelin rated restaurants from that all the way down to what they term the red gravy and sauce places.
Yeah, the olive gardens too.
Yeah, and then you've got the knockoff
Domino's.
That's rough. I mean, I've got to say, so like, if you were asking me, right, what my favorite Italian food is, I'm gonna have to take one from each category. So we'll do this. Instead of Pizza Hut, I'll take Domino's over Pizza Hut, but I won't eat either of them. But if you're giving me a choice, I'm gonna have to choose Domino's.
I haven't had Domino's in years. Like I had it one time at my friend's house. We were like ordering, and I had like the cheese sticks, and it's. I mean, listen, it's not good.
Cake. The little chocolate lava cake desserts, those are good.
Yeah, I never had that. So, all right, so we're going to do that. So, let's say we'll start at that. So, you pick Domino's over Pizza Hut.
So, let me throw this in, right? So, one of the things we do is we created a hashtag, support Italian American businesses. So, we plan on really blowing it up a little bit more. But so far, it's been working out nicely. The idea is when people could go to the hashtag, they see Italian business. But as far as what you're saying, right? When it comes to Italian food, right, there's so many restaurants, at least over here in New York, where we live, that I'm sure there's so many places you hear of and that you see on Italian enclaves that you're like, oh, I wish, I want to go there. I haven't been there yet. Like for me, I mean, there's a lot of places I haven't been to, and I make like my job to go to some of these places. Your neighborhood has Bamonte's, which I have to say is top 3. Frost.
Frost is number 1 to me of like Italian American food. And then we got Carmine's
on Graham Avenue.
Yeah,
When his mom's in the kitchen firing it up, forget it. Look out.
Yes.
Dynamite.
Carmine always hooks it up. So I like make it a point to support him,
I agree. He's a great guy. He actually was just on the Yes Network because of all the great stuff he's doing with charities. I had the luxury of doing a couple of things.
Let's get into that. Now, let's say you go into one of those places. What would be the number 1 Italian American dish you go for? Like, let's say you just go to an Italian restaurant you've never been to.
Sure.
And you're like, I don't know what to order. Like, what's the
safe bet?
What's the safe bet? Yeah.
I'm gonna go with one of the parms. Maybe if they do a good veal parm, we're gonna hook that up. Yeah. I'm hoping that this place has maybe shrimp fra diavolo with angel hair, something like that.
Penne vodka,
Yeah, penne with vodka sauce or something, But then, like, if you want to do some of these Michelin spots, like, you've got places in the city like Scalini Fedeli that they're churning out, like, amazing dishes, But, again, like, you're talking about completely different price ranges.
Yeah, so now let's get into that category. So now you got, like, that, I don't know the right word for it, but, like, contemporary Italian, like La Nonna in Williamsburg, like
Yep.
You know, I'm talking about that, like,
Exactly.
upper tier, like where you're gonna get chicken.
Almost like a hipster
Solo.
restaurant.
What was that?
You know, forgive the expression, but almost like a hipster restaurant, but like with really, really good food.
Yeah. Well, you know, like it's almost like that Italian culture I'm talking about, like that off the boat Italian, is
Like,
almost hipster.
okay, Il Coliseo in
That's in
Bensonhurst
Beirut. I heard of that place.
on 18th Avenue. Very, very official. Old school. He's got like really, really good Italian, Mediterranean, Sicilian dishes there. Fish, a lot of fish-based stuff. But like, you know, you're talking like, where can you go, right, to go get a decent dish like pasta con sarde or something like that? You know, very few places have things that ethnic on their menu in New York. And if you do find a place like that, you know, you've got to really keep it to yourself. Otherwise, you won't be able to get a reservation.
This kind of segues into our next point. For all our listeners that are tuned in and want to keep these places open and support them, like, it's very important that you order from them even during these times, you know?
Yep.
Like, make it a thing, at least one night a week, to order from your favorite restaurant, you know?
Yeah.
Even
Sabino, you
if
nailed
they
it.
don't deliver, even if you can't eat there, like if they offer pickups, like go there and pick it up, you know?
Exactly. That's the thing. There's like some really great places out there, but the main thing is, like, my thing is keeping the institutions alive, like the places that have been around 50, 100 years, like the Bamontes, the Ferdinandos downtown Brooklyn, like the places that have been around, like Michael's in Marine Park, phenomenal food there. New Corner in Dyker Heights, Bay Ridge, like that. Like that's really like our purpose is to put those places at the top of the heap, because you don't want anything like that to really fracture and close, because that's heartbreaking. As much as it is to see any Italian business, or any business for that matter, close.
Even Italian pastry shops, because who's like ordering pastries right now? So, you know, luckily my dad, like every time he comes over on Sundays, he makes a pit stop and picks up pastries, you know, but like they're hurting a lot.
I remember back in pastries are like, you know, pastry shops, pasticceries, those are very, very, like, I'd say some of the most important businesses, because they supply a lot of restaurants too. And you know, families will come and some of them ship, like Villa Abate, they've adapted really well and learned how to go online and make their business.
And that's one of the best places in the whole city.
I agree with you. They bring in the ricotta from Sicily, from, you know, overseas.
They take their stuff very, very serious.
You know, it's crazy. Like, we were trying to create a list of Italian American businesses, and what happens is, like, you feel bad because you don't want to favor any businesses. Some businesses, just by the nature of their amazing reputations and great product, will end up dominating other like in certain neighborhoods. They'll just, it's the, like, you know, it's like the social Darwinism, like the Darwinian theory in business, the strong survive. That's kind of what happens, and just eventually, everybody osmosis, everybody will go to
that's kind of what happens. Like, let's say if I put a slice of pizza, they'll be like, oh, you should have got it from there instead. You know?
Yeah, you can't. Well, you know what's funny, Sabino? We want you to join us. Tony Manja has a pretty cool podcast. He's
I've seen him before. I have him on Facebook. He's been grinding.
He works hard. He busts his ass. I'll tell you, he drives all over, you know, the tri-state area and other places, upstate New York, takes photos and everything. But he's going to all these food spots and everything. So we're trying to get a group together to go check out Italian, pizza. Slices and Italian ices, slices and ices, and we want to do that.
Are you talking like New York style, or just all pizza, like squares?
Everywhere. We just want to start hitting places up all together, and, you know, even if we have to socially distance and do it like in different cars, whatever, and just go and check out pizza and Italian ices, like Spumoni Gardens, all these places, but then also hit off the places that are on the side streets that nobody really knows about, to give them a little.
Do you like LMB Spumoni?
I do.
What do you get, the square slice when you go?
I get the square, yeah. And
I'm not crazy about that slice. Like,
I'll tell you the truth, either am I. Especially since they changed owners years ago, I just feel like something's different.
I mean, I just feel like it's like almost like a deep dish, you know? Like,
yeah.
I prefer brick oven or New York style, you know, like You know, like for me, one of my favorite pizzerias is New Park. If you're talking about New York slice.
I've never been there. Dying to go.
So come hang out with me one night and we'll go.
The
You
kid
know?
Tony had Paulie G on. He's got right by you. Paulie G's.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about Paulie too, but
I've
I
never
never
been
had
there.
his pizza.
New Park, I'm definitely coming to. That's by you.
Yeah.
We'll go there. And let's see about Pizza Wagon in Bay Ridge. They've got great slices too.
I never heard of that.
Oh, they've got really good slices. They're right around the block from where Pastels used to be. It was like a big nightclub back in the day.
Yeah, I heard of Pastels. I think
So guys,
Julio
go there
spoke
after.
about it before.
Yes, exactly. And guys would go there like they'd stay open 3 a.m. So people go out jumping around into clubs in Bay Ridge.
Did they get like another name afterwards? Like
No. Maybe you're thinking of Lenny's on 86th Street. They, from Saturday Night.
I'm talking about Pastels. Like
it became Legacy, and then they closed.
And then it got called another name.
Oh, I'm sure.
Yeah. Oh, right. You know, since we're talking about like your neck of the woods, have you watched the series on Amazon, Gravesend?
No, I haven't seen it yet. No.
You should probably look at. I mean,
I'll take a peek. I should.
It's cool. Like some things are cool. I think it's a little. I don't want to like spoil it for anybody. You know, make your own decision.
Right.
But, it's good, and it's like a couple of things you're like, eh. But like as far as like me, I just like seeing like old cars and like the outfits. So for that, I like it. And also, you kind of get idea for content for the page,
For sure. Absolutely. It's funny that the guy, William DeMeo, he works hard.
Well,
talk about grinding.
He did everything. He produced it, directed it, starred.
Yep.
I think he might have like cleaned the sets afterwards. Like
I wouldn't be surprised.
He did everything for it,
He goes out and he hustles to raise the money for it too, which is really
commendable. I know. I kind of put that together.
Yeah, it's definitely noteworthy how hard the guy works to try to get his passion fulfilled. We understand that, you and I, because we both of what we're doing right now is really passion, right?
Well, you can't wait for anybody. You got to go and get it yourself,
That's right. Carpe diem. You got to seize the day. If you wait there for people to do it for you, it's funny. Like I went out there, I started taking all these photographs. Along the way, you get. I mean, I'd say for every 100 people that give me props for it, that want to, give me a pound and say or send me a message, you're doing a great job. This is awesome. There's always that one person who's a hater, whatever it is. But
yeah,
I mean,
you ain't kidding.
You can't let that discourage you, because if you do, you'll never get anywhere. I mean, look at how far you guys have come, and I know you already a while now, and based on our conversations, this is just the beginning. So I can't wait to see what you got popping.
To be honest, as far as business level, Corona like really hurt growing up Italian. Like digitally, we might have got more followers and stuff, stuff like that. But like we had 2 monster deals in place for our digital series that we had to tell the companies like, sorry, we can't do it. One company I had to say, sorry, I can't fulfill the contract, like, because I had to film still a couple episodes, and I'm like, no, I'm not going to be able to film these episodes. Like, we had to cancel a trip to LA, so I knew I wasn't going to be able to film the content, So I had to tell them no, and then I had another company reach out and say, we're going to pause for now. We don't want to spend any money. So like, it kind of like, not that it hurt us, but it kind of slowed things down a little bit. But
let me tell you. You know what, though? Slowing down, right? Sometimes it helps you take a better perception of where you're going. And it just helps you carve out a better, stronger, smarter path. Like what happened with COVID, we didn't want to let that take us off our game, so to say. But inevitably, it had to really set us back a certain amount. Anyway, it was going to happen. So what did we do? I have a friend who has a medical supply business. And so I said, you know what? If I have this guy, he's got PPE, the personal protective equipment. He's got masks, he's got gloves, and I've got a nonprofit that has access to thousands of people. It'd be a sin if I don't take advantage of this and try to help people because I have the ability to do it. So we set up a fundraiser, and we went and raised a nice amount of money, and we bought thousands of gloves and KN95 masks. We donated it to the local council office. They made sure it got in the hands of nurses, doctors, police officers, and firefighters. And then I noticed also the Italian American Baseball Foundation, Carmine and Joe, you just mentioned, they started doing the same thing with food and donating food to the hospitals.
So
So, you know what? It may have taken us off our paths, but it gave us other things to
at
do
at
that.
the end of the day, we're humans and we got to take care of, other people
Right.
in the community. So like what I did was I made these shirts that had my logo with a middle finger. I said F COVID. And the shirts cost me like $10 each. I sold them for 25.
There you
So
go.
the 150 shirts I sold, I used the profit on them and I fed I fed hospitals. So
God bless, man.
basically like it also helped me because business is a little slower. So that money
Oh,
like is going back to me also, but I'm giving away some food to like some of the frontline
oh,
workers.
that's big. That's huge. And you know what? You use your reach and a smart idea you had. And the thing is, like you said before, you made it happen though. How many people sit there and they're like, "Oh, that was my idea." Well, why didn't you do anything about it? You didn't get off your ass, and do anything about it, but you did. So
Yeah.
that's what separates, the wheat from the chaff, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So let's talk a little bit about your book, New York City, New York City's Italian neighborhoods, right? Is that that's the
That's
full
it. New
title?
York City's Italian
It's
neighborhoods.
available on Amazon, all that stuff, right?
It's on Amazon, Target, Barnes and Noble. You could go to Arcadia directly and buy it.
When we get off this call, send me the link. I'll make sure to put it in the description in
You
this.
got it.
But
Thank
one
you,
thing I
Sabino.
respect about what you did is that all the proceeds are going to Italian
Yes.
Enclaves Foundation and St. Anthony, right?
So no, let me say this. So I created this thing back last April, the Italian Enclaves Historical Society. We made it a full-fledged nonprofit, and the proceeds are going to go for. So instead of me getting paid anything, everything that would come to me is going directly to the Italian Enclaves Historical Society, which is building a website that has a catalog of every Italian neighborhood that's ever existed in America, as well as every Italian national parish, every church.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part of the proceeds are going to the St. Rocco Society of Potenza, which is
That's what it was.
131 years. Yeah, 131 years old. It's just like your society,
Yeah.
where it has that major history to it. And this year, it's a big thing because St. Rocco is the saint of plagues and diseases. And unfortunately, with this COVID, we weren't able to have a
San
procession.
Rocco is the patron saint of my mom's hometown.
Was
So I
it
know.
San Sabino?
Sassano. Sassano.
Oh, okay.
What town did you say?
I thought you meant San Sabino,
No,
Saint
no,
Sabino.
no. Well, that's where my dad's from. My mom's town, and Rocco, that's part of growing up Italian. The other, me, Michele, and Rocco,
Right.
he's, his family, because his mom and dad come from there, named him after his grandparent, I believe, like his nonno, who was, I'm sure, named after Sandro,
Sure, exactly. That's the other thing too. Like, so anyone you see with the name Rocco, pretty much, it's a very good assumption that that's
San
because their
Rocco
family
is one of the biggest saints in Italy. It's like
huge.
Saint Anthony, San Rocco, Padre Pio.
Padre Pio is our saint. My family's from right outside of where Saint Pio lived, and the friary. So for us, that's a big saint, and so Saint Anthony, and then the Sicilian saints you guys have sent, the Rosalia is a big one,
Yeah, that's a big
especially
one.
over in Bensonhurst. They have the
Yeah,
feast every.
yeah, they close a couple of blocks for her. So,
Yeah, for sure.
so
They used to be 30 blocks long. I don't know. I think it's like 10, 15 now. But
I wanted to just show the people maybe a little preview of your book, like if you want to like just show a
yeah,
couple
sure.
of
I'll hold it up.
pages.
Yeah, absolutely. So here we go. We're doing this the low tech way, and then just to give you a quick flip, and it's got all these awesome photographs in it of just different Italian neighborhoods in Brooklyn, in Staten Island, Queens, the Bronx, Manhattan.
What I like about your book is it's a lot of pictures because I don't like to read too much.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
When I see something I like, I'll stop and read it.
And it was easier to write it, believe me when I tell you. Like, the captions weren't easy to do, either with the introductions and everything else, because you want to make sure you can incorporate everything. Without me, I could just keep talking. So it's easy. This kept me in a nice, very, well-articulated box where I didn't have to worry about that. So the book came out great. I mean, I want to do a second one, God willing, because we couldn't fit. For example, Howard Beach, your neighborhood's not in there. So we couldn't fit all the neighborhoods into one book. So we had to neglect some of them. Hopefully we can make up for it with another book.
Don't let my people over here hear you. You get in trouble for that one.
I know, but we do have Queens representing with Corona, over Corona, Queens, with the Lemon Ice King over there. Some great photographs over there, as well as Parkside. Oh, yeah, Parkside's a great restaurant. Speaking of restaurants,
Another
right?
place, right? Yeah.
Oh man, now you're making me hungry. And Astoria, we've got some good representation over there.
Astoria's a nice neighborhood too. A lot of people don't know, but Bronx Tale. A lot of Bronx Tale was filmed in Astoria.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of the parts in the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Ray, it was great catching up with you.
Sabino, likewise.
When you're done, when you get a chance, send me the link so I make sure that.
I just hope I could come down there soon. We could go grab a cup of coffee and a bite
soon we will.
This is getting crazy already.
Yeah,
but,
I'm getting cabin fever now because I just work and then come home and play video games. That's what I've been doing for 3 months.
Nothing wrong with that.
I feel like I'm 15 again.
Staying safe. That's all. That's all that matters.
Yeah.
All right, bro. Be safe.
Bro.
Good to
Take
see
care,
you. Thanks for having me on.
Anytime.
I appreciate it.